Okay, I think we're good.
It's God saying stop talking about COVID.
Yeah, yeah. The stream got a cough.
Yeah.
So I guess hurt myself some more, but let's go to your top five Flames all time.
Top five Flames of all time. Got to be in no particular order because I can't really order them unless I actually sit and think about it. But right off the top, I think Ginla, Flurry, Kiprasov, Vernon. Gotta have Vernon. Uh, I gotta say Geo, I guess.
Favorite moment?
Favorite moment. My favorite moment is a Lanny McDonald goal in the '89 Stanley Cup. Although the Flurry goal with the crazy celebration, it sticks out in your mind, right? But not as, I guess, not as huge of a moment, but still, it sticks out.
Best fight?
I got to go with Talbot and Smith. I really enjoyed that, and I can't believe it was the first fight in the Battle of Alberta.
First goalie fight,
First
yeah.
goalie fight in the Battle of Alberta.
That is insane in itself. And it's funny because both guys played for both teams, but
Yeah.
I you know I was proud of Cam for that because you knew that Mike Smith's an animal, and just taking that fight, I give him props. I mean, I give him both props. It was pretty funny. And
Oh yeah.
Nurse pointing for Talbot like down to Smith. that was hilarious. And that whole thing. I mean, Kachuk and Ethan Bear kind of squaring off, and then Talbot and Smith. That whole game. I mean,
That was the same game that Monahan and Nuge fought too, wasn't it?
I think so. Earlier in the game, yeah. Yeah, no, there was a lot that went on in that hockey game. And a great game. I mean, that to me, that was getting back to the Battle of Alberta. I mean, most of the time for recent history, I mean, you guys have kind of taken us to the woodshed, and I think it's kind of the pendulum has swung back the other way a little bit now with Draisaitl and McDavid kind of on the scene. But I mean, there was years where I'm sitting in a bar in Red Deer, I think for New Year's, watching Oilers and Flames, and I thought we were doing pretty good, and then it kind of totally went the other way. And that's a lot of those New Year's games were great for a while, but you seem to have the upper hand in a lot of them, and it's kind of went the other way. I wish to God.
No matter what though, they're usually pretty crazy games, like
Yeah,
entertaining.
I'll say a few words tonight that we meet in the playoffs again one day soon, because it's been way too long. I mean, that's where that rivalry really is at its best. Is come playoff time, and we got to go back. We got to go back a long way for that to happen. We should have met you actually in the 2006 run, but for whatever reason, you guys couldn't get past them lonely Ducks, and I think we beat them in 5. So.
Man, Anaheim has been the bane of our existence for a long time.
Yeah. You guys had trouble in their building for what, like 3 or 4 years straight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're a good team for a while too. Let's not kid ourselves with Pronger and Niedermeyer both running the back end. That's a pretty tough team.
Yeah, for sure. So how about your top 5 players all time?
From your team? That's tough.
No, from yours.
Oh man. Well,
and
yeah.
probably came to ours.
Yeah. I mean, Grant Fuhr's behind my shoulder. Grant's in my top 5. Wayne's got to be the top of the pile for me. I only got to see Wayne play live once, and he was in a Kings uniform, and had a pretty pedestrian night. Had 4 points and broke Gordie Howe's record. And I was there with my dad. I'll never forget it. But he's back there and he's in his office behind the net, and it's almost like he could stop time. I mean, everything just slowed down for the guy, and people were afraid to go after him because he would make them look foolish, so they wouldn't really do much. So he had all day to just pick him apart. I don't know, you couldn't defend him. If you went after him, he would put the puck between your legs to the guy you just gave up, going to chase him. And if you didn't do anything, he would find somebody cutting in late and hit him, and puck's in the net, and or if you chased him too hard, he would just come out and wrap the puck around and put it in the net. So, and just the vision of the man. I mean, the things that Walter taught him, to chart the game without looking, watching Hockey Night in Canada. He had that, amazing peripheral vision, and I really don't think there's been another player like him. I mean, McDavid has good vision on the ice. Draisaitl can pass the puck on the backhand, backhand saucers like I don't think anybody I've ever seen before. But still, that Wayne's ability just to play the whole ice surface, and wait for things to happen. You remember probably in that one Olympics, I think Iginla was the recipient of Mario Lemieux letting the puck, I think from Paul Kariya, go between his legs to Iggy to score a goal there in the one Olympics. Yeah. I mean, that was every shift for Wayne almost. Like it just, he was incredible. So I've got him and Grant. I think Paul Coffey was another one that... I loved. I mean, I've kind of got into this before, and you don't know where to stop. I mean, Ryan Smith for me is kind of like the Edmonton version of Jerome McGinley without the fighting, just kind of the approach to the game, bleed the game and do anything for the team and that. So he's, and he's my age and, wore 94 because he graduated in 94 and so did I. So there's, all of that. And if I could go through any Oiler in history that, if I envisioned me on the ice, it would probably be more like Ryan because I wasn't gifted with the hardest shot in the world. I would go to the net. I think probably one of my attributes that's a little different than Ryan Smith is I was a point guard in basketball and, kind of one of the better point guards in the province when I was growing up. So I had good vision. So when I'm on the ice, I see plays, and I'm looking for people to dish to and stuff like that. So I think that's a little bit different on my end of it than Ryan's. But of all the positions, I mean, I can play pretty much defense, left wing, right wing, center. But if I have my choice, I get to be a lazy left winger. But most of the time, people want me to play center because they don't want to skate all the way up and down the ice and have to be as responsible defending. So I get stuck playing center a lot, but I like it. But I'm just it's. Winning draws is always a work in progress. There's no finish line there. So I guess that's the thing when playing center I have to work on the most is trying to win, my share of draws. But that's just like anybody. But, after that it gets tough. I mean, I liked Ales Hemsky, uber talented guy. And, he could skate like the wind too. And, he would come back to the blue line and do a little curl route and kind of do a circle and start heading up ice and once that guy got going and he could stick handle in a phone booth and I remember lots of times, I mean, Regier and Phaneuf would try to just annihilate the guy and sometimes they succeeded, but a lot of times Hemsky would walk through the both of them and he's all of a sudden he's open and in on the goalie. Everybody always wanted him to shoot, and he did have a good shot, pretty accurate and all that. But I mean, Hemsky was a playmaker. Anybody that really, knew him, he was trying to create all the time. He was kind of like a Doug Wade out there. And Dougie's another one. I mean, he was a great Oiler too. But I mean, the history is so rich. I mean, it's difficult to get to 5. So I don't know. I mean, McDavid.
What about the guy over your shoulder there?
Yeah, Messier. Yeah, uh, I mean, Mark. It probably top 5 power forward all time. Great leader. I mean, lots of people want to put him as the greatest leader to ever play the game. Probably him and Stevie Yzerman kind of in the same sort of category. I'll never forget, you see it on Boys on the Bus when he's, bitching at the ref for, how can you give me a penalty because my fucking stick broke? That's a fucking joke, He cross-checks a guy in the back 3 times and finally his stick, gives up the ghosts and breaks, and he's chewing out the ref for his stick breaking. I mean, you don't see that kind of like that intensity. I mean, Mark was just like he was on a different level than probably most professional hockey players. I mean, he was an 80s player, but I'm sure he would have been fine with Gordie Howe and the elbows. I mean, you think about that kind of stuff. That's what goes through my head is, how would he do in Gordie Howe's era? And I think he'd be just fine. I mean, yeah, I think he would fit right in. Mark was just, I mean, he was incredible. And there's similarities with kind of him, Joe Sakic and Iggy with that kind of one leg up kind of wrist shot, bar down, kind of just hammer that puck in the net. So yeah, I mean, really, I guess if you look at it and you take off, the Oilers hat or the Flames hat, and you just watch Mark Messier play, and then you watch Iginla play, there's a lot of similarities there. I mean, other Iginla was more or less a winger, and Mark was, he'd play the wing too if whatever they needed, but a lot of times he was just that centerman. But just that, that intensity, that, you fuck with my teammate, I'm going to bury you kind of stuff. I mean, I don't have a hard time admitting this because I look at it like that year you guys went to the Cup with Iginla and maybe won it. When Iggy, was fighting the best player or the captain of the other team in every fucking playoff series that you got into, all the way to the finals, I look at that and I'm like, how do you not love the guy? I mean, he's from St. Albert. I'll put down the Oilers symbol for a bit. When he fought Hatcher, in that series. As an Oilers fan, I looked at that and I fucking rooted for the guy big time to kick Hatcher's ass. I really did, because of all the fucking shit that Hatcher did to Ryan Smith over the years. All those cross checks in the back, so every right hand Iggy's feeding Hatcher. I'm thinking that's retribution for all those cross checks that Smitty took over the year. And Smitty never, he never dropped the gloves. Why didn't you ever fight the fucking guy? Like, seriously, you're entitled to that ice, and you get it. I mean, it's Hatcher's job to clear the crease, and that's what he was doing. But Jesus Christ, stand up for yourself. Throw down, get after it, unload on the guy. You're waiting for it. So when Iggy finally did that, as an Oilers fan, I'm rooting for the guy. I'm like, murder him, get. Oh man, the just that old school Mike, the guy that played hockey 40 minutes from where Daryl, the Sutter Farm, that's where my Bantam hockey was from. That Mike came out when Iggy was in on that. I was rooting for him, and of anybody in Calgary that's ever played for you, I mean, other than Grant, but by that time he wasn't Grant anymore. Any player that's ever put on your jersey, Iggy's by far and away the guy that I can say, I wanted that guy on my team. You had Al McInnes, you had, some pretty special players, Joe Nieuwendyk, all those guys come through there. Iggy's the guy that, and I don't think I'm alone. I think if you honestly ask any Oiler fan, anybody that's worn that Flaming Sea, subpar logo, Iggy's the one that we would say, that's the guy we want. And even at the very end, I mean, even if he just came for 1 year at the very end of that career, we still would have took him. We would have loved him. We would have embraced him like he was our own. I mean, yeah, I can't say enough good things about Jerome McGinley. I'm glad he's a Hall of Famer. He deserves it. And honestly, I love the guy. So now I got to flip this back on you since I've totally undressed here for you. If there was one Oiler over our history that you could have had, who would it have been?
So we're obviously talking pre-McDavid.
I mean you can go up till now. If McDavid ranks higher than Wayne or whoever, we'll let it be.
I'm probably gonna break your heart and say that McDavid blows Wayne out the door in my mind, but they're different players, right? I mean, McDavid does things on the fly at 100 miles an hour, whereas Wayne was more analytical, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep. See. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely not breaking my heart. It's two different players, really. Like, the most exciting part of watching Connor McDavid play is knowing how lethal that speed is. I mean, the guy needs 3 strides and he is gone. I mean, at the end of practice, when you think the playing field would be the most level, he's beating his teammates by, he's at the red line. They're still at the blue line. I mean, you can watch the tape of it. And that's at the end of practice when you're supposed to be, dog tired. And from what I've gathered, it was a little bit of a bag skate. So, I mean, that's at the end of it. He's got that much more in the tank. So where is he at the start of the game? Is it the same, or is if you're doing wind sprints, are you at the blue line and he's already at the other end? Like, it's just, man. And I've seen him. I mean, and I've been watching NHL hockey, live basically since I was about 12 years old. I think was kind of the first game that I went to, and there's nothing like it. There really isn't. I mean, and he does it with the puck. I mean. Yeah, and it almost seems like he's more, he's more dangerous and more explosive and has more speed with the puck versus without it, and that's hard to fathom. I mean, it really is. Anybody that's played the game knows that, when you have the puck, you're not as fast as without it because you got the puck. So it just it's crazy. I mean, and like I say, Hemmer was great, but it took Hemmer like basically the distance of the blue line to the red line to get up to full speed. Connor's there in less than half that distance. Like, it's insane. Like, and trying to defend the guy and the wherewithal in his head. I mean, we all seen a bazillion times what he did to Morgan Riley. I mean, just a little hesitation. I mean, in basketball, I would do a hesitation dribble with the ball. Well, that's on my feet, like on a gym floor. He's doing that with skates. I mean,
definitely some good edge work there.
Yeah. So I mean, in that respect, there's no measuring. You can't measure his explosiveness, in comparison to Wayne's. But if you do go on YouTube, you can watch a video of Wayne Gretzky, in a sprint against like Sugar Ray Leonard and like 3 other like pretty high profile athletes from different sports in a 100-yard sprint. Gretzky blew them away. So he was explosive too, but Connor's on a different level. But to me, the difference, and I think Connor will get into this sort of realm, is just Wayne's ability to he was playing chess and everybody was playing checkers. Mm-hmm. And that was the difference. I mean, McDavid does that at times, for sure. I mean, the one preseason game against Seattle, I mean, there was a play where puck was kept in the zone for a while, and Pugliarvi made a great play to get the puck to McDavid to Hyman for just a tip-in goal at the side of the net. But that whole play, Oilers against Kraken basically had an AHL team out there, and we had almost our regular lineup, but it looked like the Globetrotters against the Washington Generals. It was almost like a minute and a half shift, I think, of just domination. McDavid skates around and people are watching him and getting drawn to him. The puck gets to Puljujärvi. They all go to him. He makes a nice no look backhand pass to McDavid, and McDavid finds Hyman at the side of the net. I mean, all of them in unison. It was pretty special. So I hope that's kind of a sign of things to come this season. I think that line is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Maybe one of the best lines in the NHL.
Yeah.
That part kind of excites me, but what makes kind of me kind of jubilant about this season is there's more behind that now, because last year we could put out one line that would do some damage, but there wasn't a lot after that because you were throwing Leon and Connor together out there, and Puljujärvi with them, and yes, he's starting to come around, starting to transition from the boy into the man, and that he's a big kid, so that sort of excites me. But it's looking like we're gonna have three lines that can do a little bit this season. I'm interested to see, I think it's tomorrow, Duncan Keith can start to being a part of everything. He went to the United States late in the day to get his vaccine, and now tomorrow he comes out of quarantine, so he's going to be able to be on the ice with the guys again and probably get into a few preseason games before the real thing gets going. So I'm interested to see what we're going to get there. I mean, I know there's a lot of Oilers fans on that front that are, looking at his WAR from last season, WAR percentage from last season, and scared to death that he's going to be, just a boat anchor. But I'm not there. I'm not in that crowd. I think, him going from playing 25 minutes a night in Chicago to 18 minutes a night, kind of not having to be the man anymore on a team. He can kind of take a little bit of a backseat to Nurse and Barry and that, and be in a kind of a more of a second pairing role, more quality minutes instead of quantity and bulk minutes. I'm interested to see what happens there. I don't know. I think the addition of Keith is going to do wonders for some of these guys when it comes to playoff time. He's been through everything there is to go through as an NHL player, from a preseason game to deep in, I think, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. So and he's won at every level he's ever been at, so it just I think that can only help. I mean, we haven't had a player in the fold like him, on the back end or up front, for a while. So I think he's going to help us. I don't think he's going to hurt us.
Yeah, you guys got the Kraken again tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably a more close to a starting Kraken lineup as well. So.
Yeah, and I think our lineup will be better than what we dressed in Winnipeg, but I still don't think it's going to be kind of what you're going to see from this team, on opening night. Is that game in Seattle?
Yeah.
Because the way things have kind of been working is the home team seems to, dress the meat, and the away team dresses the vegetables, so to speak. So
the game is actually in Everett.
Okay, yeah. So, so basically a home game for Seattle, but yeah. That
we get the Canucks tomorrow night.
Okay, are you at home or are you in Vancouver?
We're at home, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see. Did you guys make a bunch of cuts today, or?
I think was that today or yesterday? I saw a tweet about it. Nobody really significant that I saw, though. They were mostly guys that were, guys expected to go down to the minors.
Yeah, so. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of our first round pick there, Burgo. They sent him home today, I think along with about 8 other guys. So I think there was nine people kind of let off the hook here from the main club. So you're starting to tinker a little bit and get it down a little bit more. So what do you think what's your projection for your Flames this season?
My projection, and you can check my projections in a couple episodes back of the Puck and Pigskin podcast. um, I picked Vegas finishing first, Oilers finishing second, Flames finishing third. I think I picked, and I can't remember. I think I had the Jets finishing fourth. I can't remember. I've done so many predictions, and
So you think you're
I
a
think
playoff team?
I think that we're going to be like every other year, and we're going to squeak in.
Okay.
And whether or not we do anything, who knows? Because I think if we're in that third spot, who are we playing? We're probably playing. I can't even remember how they do the divisions now, since last season was all messed up, and
Yeah. So
top three in each division, or the top team in each division, they get the bye, right? Not the bye, but the
home ice. Yeah.
home ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next two play. I don't remember how they even do it now.
We're back in the Pacific Division, but I don't. Yeah, I'll have to look at the playoff tree format. I'm not.
Yeah, because we're back to having wild cards and all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk that the Kings might be all right this year. So, but it's definitely not going to be like it used to be, where you go into California and it's murderers row. I mean, Anaheim.
yeah,
Anaheim and San Jose are just not the same juggernauts that they once were.
And LA really isn't either.
No, but a lot of people are thinking they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back. That they've done some things to make them a better team. So we'll see. I think we can kind of give Vegas a little bit of some push and pull with going after the division lead. I think their team is still pretty well built. I just think that they're
repeating or three-peating.
Yeah, I think they're gonna learn that Marc-Andre Fleury was more valuable than they're giving him credit for.
Can you see Tampa Bay three-peating?
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I think they exposed a couple things with the way the league is last season to be able to do what they did, and I just don't think that's happening again. They've had some turnover from last season already. So, yeah, I don't know. There's still some good pieces there, and Vasilevsky's a hell of a goalie, so you never know, but I don't know. It would be quite the story if they did. I mean, back to back in this day and age, I don't know if that qualifies as a dynasty, but it probably puts you in the conversation. But three-peating, I mean, I don't remember the last time that was done, so that would put them into the dynasty kind of situation in my mind anyway.
Would the Oilers have been the last team to do that? Did you guys win 3 in a row?
No, I do not.
No.
You might be one team. Yeah, it might be the Islanders.
Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah, the Islanders might have four-peated actually, but I would have to look at that. Yeah. And if it's not the Islanders, then you got to go probably back to the Canadians. I don't know.
I got a dark horse pick this season of Chicago going deep, because I think Fleury's going to make a huge difference, and they've added some great players to the roster. Plus Kane and Taves is back now, so they're going to be tough.
Yeah, you're making me look at this on the fly. Yeah. Yeah, the Islanders four-peated. I had it right.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So
I thought they only won 3 in a row, and then I thought
yeah, no,
there was one in the
80 to 80. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 1980, 1981, 1982, and 1983.
wow.
And then we went back to back. Then the Canadians grabbed one. We went back to back again. You guys got yours, and we won after that. Yeah. Penguins won a pair. Canadians, Rangers, Devils, Avalanche, Detroit back to back. Stars, Jersey, Avalanche, Wings, Jersey, Lightning, Carolina. Fuck that. Anaheim, Wings, Penguins, Blackhawks, Bruins, Kings, Blackhawks, Kings, Blackhawks, Penguins back to back again. Capitals, St. Louis Blues, and the Bolts the last 2 years. So there you go. There's your Stanley Cup winners from 1980. Courtesy of the Straight Off the Pipe podcast. I think we've probably exhausted enough tonight. I'm sorry we had a little bit of issues there with the stream, but thanks for joining me, Mr. Jason, and maybe we'll get you on after Battle of Alberta in the regular season or just before that. And if you guys are out there and you're starving for some content, Jason puts out a really good show. It's called the Puck and Pigskin podcast, and you can check him out. You can follow him on Twitter. Thanks for joining me, Jason, and
no worries.
Look forward to chatting with you again. And I think I'm out of Flames love confessions for the next decade. But we'll chat with you again. Thanks for coming on.
And it's all documented forever on the internet.
Yeah, you can pretend to delete it, but it's always there.
Yeah. No, it was great being on, and I'm definitely looking forward to having you and Durs on my show as well soon.
Yeah. Dashney tonight.
Are you and Dash?
Yeah.
You are Durs. Yeah,
he had a couple of complications there with some surgery that he had done. Wish him a speedy recovery. Sorry, Dash, I spilled the beans on what was going on, but you don't have to be a hero all by yourself. We're here for you. We love you and we miss you, and we hope to see you next Thursday. When the regular season starts, we're going to switch our show from Thursdays at 9 to Sunday nights at 9. We did the math. We got out the Oilers schedule, and there will be basically no complications unless we get into a overtime game during the regular season. So I think the first week of the regular season, that's when we're going to switch to that. We're going to try to stay on Thursday nights at 9 until then. But thanks for watching, and thanks for joining, Jason. Keep your sticks on the ice and keep reaching for the stars, and go Oilers flow. I can't even talk. Go Oilers, go, and Flames suck. Thanks, Jay. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, I couldn't even talk tonight. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but it cut out there for a little. But
I think it was my internet.
Yeah, killing it and starting it again. It was fine after, so.
Yeah, because my internet said something about having low bandwidth, which is weird.
Yeah. I'm on.